Hello and welcome. I'm Megan Kerr and I'm here today with Catherine, one of our authors in Resilience. And it's time really to unleash to the world what your chapter is about. So you've joined us in this journey of writing Resilience, turning struggle into strength. So give us a little bit of info of what's this chapter about. What's your topic about?
So, my topic is about supporting my son through a 17-year journey as I helped him overcome his learning difficulties at school. And little did I know at the time, but by actually helping him through his learning journey, I actually started a journey of discovering myself again.
Wow. 17-year journey.
It
That's
was a
the
long one.
experience right there. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. So, I mean, through that 17 years, can you pick out one thing that you'd like to share with us about that experience?
Oh, I suppose it was a long journey, so we learned a lot along the way. I think that the most important thing to draw out from it is that as a mum, you know your child best. And you get it, Megan. You're a mum too, right? So as a mum, you get it. You know your child better than anybody else. And so when I started to notice some quirks and idiosyncrasies as he started to develop and learn, I wanted to try and help him, right? Because it's all a mum ever wants to do is make the opportunities for their kid to be the best version of themselves they can possibly be.
Yeah.
And so when I started to probe and actually try to understand what was going on, I was annoyed that my intuition was absolutely dismissed, that I was never given an opportunity to explore it further. And then as we started going down the path of trying to understand what was going on, he was misdiagnosed with these flawed diagnoses. And I was absolutely incensed because they didn't take the time to understand who he was or what was really going on. They just tried to find a label to stick on top. And then how that then perpetuated at school. So I became furious because people didn't take the time to understand who he was or how he would learn, and the way that he related to people. He was cast aside because it just took too much effort. And so when I started to ask people, how do I help him? All I got back was deafening silence because people didn't really know where to start or where to even offer his suggestions. So with all of that as a backdrop, as a mum, I was really scared. I was petrified that I wouldn't be able to help him and I wouldn't be able to find a solution, that I'd let him down.
Wow.
So I did what well, I went to my safe space then, because when I was scared, I retreat. And I did what I did best, and I researched and I found options and I evaluated alternatives, and I came up with a plan. And we created a path that would help us address a number of quirks that he had. But I think I think overall, I found my voice. I
Mm.
found my voice to be his advocate. I found a voice to believe in me, and I found a voice to challenge all of these standard expectations and the status quo that people think is normal, because really, what is normal?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's no such
And
thing as that.
that's right. So I challenged what that normal was, but to challenge that took it took strength and it took courage and it took
Yeah.
resilience because our journey was such a long one.
Absolutely. So, Kath, why is it important for you to tell this story now?
Why now? I think it's really important now because we're at a turning point in our journey, my son and I. At the end of last year, my son finished school and he is now fully employed. So it's after that 17-year journey of being side by side in that learning journey, I finally have some breathing space. I've got some time to reflect and to recognise that my identity is changing in terms of I no longer need to support him as much as I've done in the recent years. And I now am having a new purpose and a new focus for not only my family, but for myself.
Amazing. Amazing. What a journey. Yeah, I
What a
think
journey.
readers are I'm going to say it's sitting there going, "Oh, tell me more, tell me more." So as they read your chapter, what would be your hope? What do you hope is possible for people that are reading your chapter?
Oh, I hope that parents who read my chapter, who are experiencing a similar situation or even part of what we experienced, recognise the flaw structure of the education system, because the system let my son down, and it continues to let kids down um, all the time, and it will continue to, because of the government and the political pressures that are placed on the system. It takes passion and resilience to stand up for your child, to give them the opportunity to be the best version of who they can be, particularly when they're caught up in such an indoctrinated system.
Mm,
So I just hope that someone who reads our story, it will give them the courage to find their voice, to be their advocate for their child, because nobody else will. And and I hope that by doing that, they enjoy similar success to what we experienced.
yeah, how beautiful. Yeah, I hope that too. I hope all those parents out there that need that little bit of guidance can see what a shining light you are in that as an example. Um, so based on your chapter, would you say that there's a specific recipe or ingredient that those parents need to become that resilient person?
I think there's a couple. I think to be, when I go through this journey, I've worked out that resilience is not just it's not something you can tick a box on. It's something that you build on, and it's like a muscle that you build strength. And you have to keep exercising this strength in order for it to get strong. And that then creates, it's like a snowballing effect. It creates more confidence to you, it creates more confidence in your child, and it's an ongoing thing. So to do it's more like a melting pot of things that you need to put in there to make this muscle work. Um, so to me, there are a couple of really key ingredients. I think one is having an absolutely relentless quest to turn life's curveball around. For me, it was always about having this sense that there was a way for better, and a way for better outcome, a way for a better version of him, a way for a better version of me. And that was our driving force to try and create opportunities for my son. I think you have to have the courage to challenge expectations of the normal. You need to be able to cast off other people's expectations and have the courage to look at life through a different lens, and have a curiosity and a determination to find another way, because the standard ways of doing things are not always going to suit your child.
Yeah.
And I think you need to remember how important it is and how beautiful it is that every person comes to this world with a unique gift, and that gift needs to be encapsulated. I think, ironically, we think that resilience is hand in hand with strength, right? And we think resilience is hand in hand with bounce back. I think from my journey, ironically, I think a key part of being resilient is being vulnerable, because it is a sense of awareness of both yourself, that you can't do it alone, that you need people to help you. And it's that vulnerability that will actually allow you to genuinely relate and connect with others. And that will guide you on a journey that will support what you're doing and what you're trying to create. And
Mhm.
to me, in our situation, it was creating a network of trusted sources that I developed over time. And I found, as we meandered through our learning journey over this 17-year period,
Yeah.
it was connecting with one person that would then understand where we're at, and then they would actually help us and lead us to the next, and then they would lead us to the next. So everything was a twist and a turn, but that then created a web for us of trusted sources that we would refer to time and time again.
Yeah.
And I
Amazing.
think the last thing is really just trusting in yourself and the relationships that you create, understand, and with the people who understand you and your journey, and that will support you when the days are dark and when you stumble, because you will, and it will get hard. But they're also there to celebrate the wins with you along the way, because no matter how small the win is, you've got to take it, because the
Mm.
road is long.
Yeah.
And part of that is never ever giving up hope.
Yeah, absolutely. Sage advice. Absolutely sage advice there. Yeah. And no limitation in that at all, which is just absolutely phenomenal. Such an important story for people to read, and I can't wait to have and hear all the comments that are going to come back to you for that experience and your resilience, Catherine.
Well, thank you, Megan. I remember, before I started this journey, I always believed that it was amazing things were done by incredible people. And it's going through this journey and having the time to reflect on the enormity of what we've achieved that now I've realised that it's ordinary people that make amazing things happen.
So true. So true. Well, congratulations. Your book's about to be launched.
Thank you.
Yes. and just sharing it is going to be absolutely amazing. So thank you for trusting us in that process.
More than
And
welcome.
we look forward to talking again more.
And look, talk to you soon. Let the pages turn.
Absolutely. Bye, Kath.
Bye.